My name is Samuel Stearns. In 2008, I had a clash with the Incredible Hulk, and it was supposed to be my origin story, because in Earth 616, I am a formidable foe of not just the Hulk, but everybody. And yet when it comes to the MCU, I still haven't been invited back. And then what made things even worse was that it happened all over again. This time I was Harvey Elder, and I had a run-in with the Fantastic Four. And yada yada yada, deja vu, here we are. So now I've taken this show from some other doofus who never got to be a villain in order to take advantage of, help all the villains who have been lucky enough to become the formidable foes of those superheroes. Everyone talks about the defeat, but no one talks about how I feel about it. Me, the best villain of them all. This is... I forgot to change the name to something better. All well. This is Post-Defeat. So now that the show is under new management, it's high time that we class things up a bit, and only talk about the most prestigious of villains. The ones who have their own damn countries. No, not him. He's too much of an anti-hero for my tastes. No, not him either. He only owns that country sometimes. Now there we go. We know Fox will eventually bend over. We just don't know fucking when. So I guess I'm gonna have to settle for a villain who owns only 1/5 of a country. M'Baku. Apparently, Wakanda is a lot more complicated than we thought. It's made up of 5 different tribes, but one of those tribes decided not to play ball with the other 4. That tribe was the Jabari tribe. And can I just say how stupid that tribe is? Come on. The reason why they left was because of too much reliance on technology? Where the hell would I be without technology? I wouldn't have this brain if it wasn't for scientific advancements. So this glorified version of the Amish have become sworn enemies to the rest of Wakanda. That is, until now. A recent squabble within the country have caused a huge change in the political climate of Wakanda. But the mainstream news isn't focusing on that. They're only focusing on the fact that we just have now found out that the country is more technologically advanced than we once thought. But we here at Post-Defeat don't give a shit about that. We're here to talk about the real news. The news about the supervillains that were involved. Enemies have become friends, and friends have become enemies. And that's why I'm here to give you the fair and balanced news the only way I know. It's time to get into the nitty-gritty and expose everything there is about this country of Wakanda. Thank you for speaking with me, Mr. Baku. We understand that you were too busy to come to us, so we took the liberty of coming here to Wakanda. Although it was very difficult to do that. I mean, we had to be escorted by this weird, deformed man named Venom Who might I remind you, isn't even the popular Venom. It's not the one who looks kind of like Spider-Man, except he's a member of KISS. I have no idea who that other guy is. Apparently there's more than one supervillain named Venom. Well, whoever this guy is, he's not nearly as interesting. He's just some dude obsessed with snakes and is deformed by a snake. That's disappointing. I didn't even get to be escorted by a cool villain. That's how sucky this trip has been so far. Who the fuck are you? Oh, is this some kind of joke, Mr. M'Baku? Who doesn't know who I am? Me? I don't. Do you treat all of your guests this way, Mr. M'Baku? Do you really treat all of your guests with such little consideration? No, I don't, because most of my guests are not pieces of shit. Wow, I cannot believe this hostility, Mr. M'Baku. I just simply can't. I thought you would give a little bit more respect to a very highly, might I add you, highly celebrated TV personality back in America. No, you are not. The reason why you are a piece of shit is because you unfairly stole this program away from the real host of this show. Oh, I see. You must be one of those sour people. Those people who can't accept change. You see, yes, I do acknowledge that this show used to be hosted by someone else, but change is a very good thing. It's healthy. So you're going to have to accept that the previous host will never be back, on account of the fact that he mysteriously disappeared, and he decided to drop all of his responsibilities and just go away. I'm not sure where he is, of course, but one thing's for certain, he never deserved this show in the first place if he was just going to abandon it, so that's why it's now hosted by me, Samuel Harvey Stern Elder, a.k.a. the Mole Eater. Well, since there has still not been a body that has been found, then there is no conclusive evidence to say that he willingly left. Oh, if you want to be one of those biased fanboys who refuse to see the evidence right in front of their face, then sure, you can keep telling yourself that, but I'm afraid you're just going to have to face the facts. The little man that you liked is no longer here. And you're going to have to accept the fact that if you want to be on this show, then you're going to have to talk to me instead. The better reporter, if I do say so myself. I don't have to put up with this shit. Oh, really? Then why did you invite me here? Well, I know that you hate traveling, so I decided to put you in your personal hell. Wait a minute. Are you the reason why I had to travel in coach? Well, I'm glad that all of my viewers can see you for the degenerate scum you are. I don't think that they like you either. All of them agree that your bark is bigger than your bite. Oh, you want me to bite, huh? Well, sorry to disappoint you, Mr. M'Baku, but I am a civil gentleman, and I would never resort to violence. So peaceful, huh? You would never stab anybody? Specifically on a boat in the middle of the ocean? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, nothing. It's not like I know a horrible secret you are keeping. A secret that has to do with murder. Wait a minute. Are you the one who took Graviton away from me before I could give him the final stab? Hey, you are the one saying that, not me. Oh no! Oh no! What have I done? I just gave myself away! Why do we do this show live? Oh, I guess you are not the peaceful gentleman you claim to be. You actually are a big fucking bully who likes to belittle all of his guests. If you had any guests. Oh, really? All of those pretentious scum think they're above me, huh? Then tell me, why did you accept my offer? Because I knew that you would fuck up. Okay, first of all, I was not the one who stabbed him first. I was just gonna make the final kill until you took him away from me, if that's what you're willing to admit. Maybe I did take the body, maybe I didn't. The only thing that matters now is that you are in deep shit. You see, unlike you, the previous host was more respected, and he had a lot of friends in the supervillain community, because he had a little thing that you lack: respect. And so all of his friends and comrades will be very, very disappointed in you, to the point where they will probably kill you. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, two can play at this game. You think that you trapped me, huh? Well, guess what? This is a double trap, because I used this interview to trap you. Oh, I am so surprised. It's not at all like I prepared for this or something. Now, I could fixate on the little things, such as the fact that you claim to be vegetarian, and yet you have fishermen. What's going on there? Hey now, we have many other uses for fish than eating them. We mostly just use them to juggle. It is how we pass the time in the snowy mountains. But that's not the problem I'm focusing on. This is a sting operation, because you have done the worst possible thing any supervillain could ever do. You have sided with the hero. Oh no! You found out my secret! The secret that everybody already knows! You know what? If Killmonger were still with us, he would be disappointed. Why the fuck would I care what Killmonger thinks? He was about to run our country to the ground. Well, let me educate you on Killmonger, since you seem to be very oblivious to reality. After the game-changing events that shook Wakanda to its core, sources tell me that the kingdom of Wakanda was more corrupt than we had thought. Their king killed his own brother, for crying out loud. And they abandoned the rightful heir to the throne, Eric Killmonger, all to just cover up the skeletons in the closet. The decades worth of anguish transformed him into a ripoff of Mr. Zaz. Oh, but I don't hold him to that. Hey, if he wants to mutilate his body each time he kills someone, there's no trademark on that. And as long as he doesn't do it through tally marks, it's fine if he just gives himself little tiny bumps. But this bumpy man still should be held accountable for the more shameless plagiarisms he has committed. I'm all for punching up, but when you punch down, that is just tasteless. How dare you steal the origin story from a much more obscure Black Panther villain? Yes, you heard it right. This is the real cousin of T'Challa, T'Shawn. He was the one who wanted the throne and was jealous of the Black Panther. But he wasn't as lucky to actually do anything about it because he was possessed by a different supervillain who had the ability of possessing people's minds. That villain's name is the Cannibal, if you cared. I will give Killmonger this. Yes, his dad was from Wakanda until he was banished away from Wakanda and died while serving Claw, but sharing the same bloodline as T'Challa, that was not the case. Granted, he's not completely like T'Shawn. T'Shawn's father didn't die that way. He still died, just not in a Game of Thrones fashion. So I'm gonna let that slide. After all, he had a noble cause. He's not urging to become king just for his own benefit. He's also doing it for the benefit of something bigger than himself. And I need to emphasize that to make myself seem like the more righteous person in this interview. See, he considered himself a martyr. And this is how you shit on his legacy? That means that you are a racist. Okay, first of all, I never said I was against his overall intent. His intent was very noble. However, the way he tried to achieve his goal is what was the problem. He wanted to do it through violence. And even though I am all about the war and the fighting, I only do it the honorable way. Because if I wasn't honorable, then I would be a hypocrite for challenging the Black Panther. And that is why I think that Killmonger was the hypocrite. Because he was trying to solve all of this senseless violence with his own senseless violence. He wasn't going to fight back against just people in authority who wronged his people. He was going to fight against any authority. All of it. And that is what made him in the wrong. And isn't that the thing that we always stand against? Being generalized? Oh, come on, you don't need to complicate this with politics. Why do you have to bring politics into this? Oh, really? I don't need to be political. It's not like we are talking about a king or something. Ooh. Well, excuse me for bringing up politics in a discussion that is about a politician. I'm so sorry for triggering you. It's not like you have the option to go somewhere else. No, you have to tell me not to be political. That's the only option. I'm beginning to hear a little hint of sarcasm. Oh no, really? You hear sarcasm in my voice? No. Well, if you insist on talking about politics, then how about this? If you are going to continue to serve a superhero, then that makes you a superhero, and not a supervillain. You don't even deserve to be on this channel. Oh, really? So tell me, what are you going to do about it? I'm already here. You have already gave me the platform to speak upon. Ah, but that's where the trap starts. I only did this to fish you out. And now that I've got you right where I want you and have exposed you to all of the masses, that's more than enough evidence to have your title stripped away from you. You will forever be exiled from the supervillain community, dishonorably discharged, and your title will be given to someone who actually deserves it. Oh, really? And who is that? I'll tell you who that is. Wakabi. Every superhero relies on their best friend through thick and thin. Matt Murdock has Foggy, Tony Stark has Happy, and Trent Walker has Mike. But who does T'Challa have? Well, he has the one Black Panther supporting character who's been there since the very beginning. Before the Dora Milaje, before his little sis, before the old guy who we never saw, and before the token white guy that the white supremacists seem to forget. The man in question is Wakabi, the only man who wears a hula hoop around his arm and finds it quite comfy. He's always been the Black Panther's first lieutenant and was loyal all the way to the very end when he was murdered in cold blood by Morlun, the almighty naked vampire, not to be confused with Morbius. So why the unexpected change of heart? Could it be that he represents the more complicated part of politics? The part that refuses to change when it comes to aiding refugees and reaching out to other countries. But the more burning question is whether or not he is still an ally of the Black Panther after the war. Maybe he just got a slap on the wrist after surrendering to his gal pal. But when we saw the leader of each tribe in the council scene, he was no longer there and was replaced by you know who. So what does this mean? Has he been excommunicated? Has he been sentenced to Wakandan jail? Or is he taking a leave of absence? Well, we tried to get a hold of Wakabi for questioning, and this is what we received.
I am not taking any questions at the moment. I am trying to focus on my farm of rhinos. We have not come to a decision yet as to whether or not I will be on the council. It could be in May of this year, or it could be a later date, like 2020. So for the time being, I am going to focus all of my talents on ASMR videos. I am going to sexually stimulate a lot of people.
Oh, please! You expect me not to know who Wakabi is? Of course I know who that guy is. He is the one who almost killed me. He was trying to use one of his rhinos. But the joke is on him because I have taken custody of all of his rhinos. They are all mine now. Do you want to pet one of the rhinos? No thanks. I only want to pet good CGI. Oh, please. The only reason why you're fixating on the CGI is because that's the only thing you can find to complain about. Now, pet my rhino. Pet it! Save me. Save me. I was drafted into the war, but this is way worse. I wish I died in combat instead of living out my days in a petting zoo. Why do I have to keep this armor on? It chafes.
It chafes so much.
Oh, now this is just animal abuse.
You see, that right there is why most animals in big budget movies are CGI now. Yeah, that is abusing the animals. Oh, you can't put armor on a rhino. That is why we decided just to cut our losses and just make it all CGI. That's good for the real rhinos, but not me. Go back to your stable, little rhino. I miss Bebop.
So Wakabi tried to kill you, huh? Well, he had every reason to, because he's 15 times more of a supervillain than you'll ever be.
Looks like someone doesn't read their source material.
Neither do you. While most of the Black Panther's foes are from the outside trying to get in, you are one of the few villains who has the honor of residing in Wakanda. And yet you have squandered that honor away by becoming the Black Panther's slave.
Okay, I have had enough of this mudslinging. Don't you understand that if I was still a foe of the Black Panther, then there wouldn't be that much else to me? That would be it. I would just be the one Wakandan who hates the Black Panther, and that would be it. Just a simplistic one-off adversary. But now that I have joined forces with the Black Panther, now you'll pay more attention to me than if I just kept myself in this mountain. It started in the status quo that the comic book readers would be used to. And now they have been shocked, and the tables have been turned. Because isn't that what you want from a story? For the status quo to be changed? I mean, sure, you would want some of the status quo to be brought back to normal, but the whole point of a story is to see what has been changed, for the better or the worse.
Well, if they wanted to do that, then why not switch places with Wakabi? You could have been the friend who has a falling out with the Black Panther. And Wakabi could have been the one who hates the Black Panther at first, but then gets to know him better and respects him at the end. At least then you would have kept your supervillain cred.
Yes, you might have a little bit of a point, but just because this is the status quo now, does not mean it will stay throughout this whole trilogy. You can't be certain that Wakabi will stay an enemy. After all, he does go the way of the French and calls off the war.
Well, yeah, but that was probably because he was just thinking with his dick. I mean, come on, look at that Leslie Jones-looking lady.
I think you mean Grace Jones.
Whatever, same person.
Okay, I'm gonna let that one slide, but if you do some shit like that again, you are gonna get this Riddler cane up your ass.
Well, I'm not the one on trial here. And as far as I'm concerned, all of that you just spewed was your confession. You are guilty.
Oh, okay. So if you are the judge and the jury, don't tell me you are also the executioner.
Oh, I'm not executing you. I always get someone to do my dirty work. That's the smart way to be a villain. And during my 10 years of not being in the MCU, I have developed a lot of connections. It's important to have friends in high places. Even higher than your own place.
Oh, is that supposed to be a pun? Because I live in a mountain.
No, it's not a pun. Although, I guess it sort of is, since they are literally in a higher place than this high place, because they're from outer space, but that's beyond the point. What's important is that I've blown the whistle, and they're coming for you right now. They'll be here any moment to do you in.
Well, if they can take on me, then why didn't you hire them to kill the host of this show?
Because I wanted the gratification of doing it myself. Sure, I still had some help anyway, but I wanted help from people who I actually trust. These guys, on the other hand, I'll be frank with you. I am scared beyond belief. These guys are really scary. I'll be honest, I got a little bit in over my head here.
Oh, really? Well, maybe you shouldn't have made connections with them.
It's too late now. The point is, they were going to pay me a handsome reward. They really were. Granted, the money would be only in value in space, but still. And since they wanted the host of this show to be dead too, I thought, well, since I'm going to do that anyway, might as well be paid for it.
But now you're in this pickle, because you did not kill the host. He disappeared before you had the chance.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because I solved the problem. I gave them a different body, and hopefully it's been maimed beyond recognition, so they'll have to take my story. So unlike you, I am good with them. They will not kill me.
Well, in case your plan backfires, maybe you should wear my mask so they don't recognize you.
What, that racist mask? I won't wear that. That's offensive.
I thought you wanted me to be accurate to the source material. It doesn't have to be racist. You're only making it racist by pointing it out.
Stop using reverse psychology on me.
Well, you will not admit when you are wrong, do you?
That's how you win an interview. By refusing to admit when you're wrong.
I'm sorry, do you treat every interview like it is an argument? You see, that right there is why you are not a good host. And that is why Graviton is the better host. He gives his guests the benefit of the doubt. He gives them a chance to explain themselves. Whereas with you, you don't even humor the possibility of people having a different opinion that should be still as valid as yours. You see yourself as above everyone else. And when anybody tries to tell you otherwise, you can't accept that. And so you kill the argument dead in its tracks and pretend that you won. So what do you have to say about that?
I say you are a sore loser.
Well, I tried to be reasonable with you, but you continue not to budge. So I am about to do something I should have done from the very beginning of this interview.
And what's that? What did you just say to me? Why do you keep doing... Why aren't you using your word? Well, I refuse to acknowledge that you're... Why not just... You know, you're a Make it stop. Make it stop. I gotta go to my happy place. I gotta go to my happy place. Here's my happy place. Another segment. So, what should I talk about now? Maybe Nakia? Yes, I'll talk about Nakia. Now, you might be wondering, isn't she the main squeeze of T'Challa? She's not a villain. Well, that's where you're wrong. Because in Earth 616, she used to be a member of the Dora Milaje, but then she was murdered and was brought back to life as a soulless husk of her former self who was only fueled by vengeance against the Panther. Nakia was no longer. There was only malice under the direction of Killmonger. Yes, Malice is supposed to be the one who gets to be Killmonger's female accomplice. Not this lady, who was supposed to be Nightshade, until it turned out that Luke Cage called dibs on Nightshade. And since it's a lot easier for a movie to adjust a character's name than a whole TV show, she was no longer Nightshade. Instead, she was just a random character to show that Killmonger is willing to kill his fuck buddy. But now that he has perished, Nakia will never fulfill her destiny of becoming a villain of the Black Panther. Although there is still a chance, she could still die tragically and come back thanks to Baron Macabre. Yes, Baron Macabre, the #1 voodoo witch doctor of Marvel, if you don't count Brother Voodoo, of course. But he's a hero. This guy, on the other hand, he's willing to do his voodoo shit for evil. So that means that Nakia does not have to be the cookie-cutter love interest like she is at the moment. She can still have the most interesting part of her character be achieved. Let's add some tragedy to that relationship. How can they make this work if she wants to kill him all the time? But don't feel sorry for T'Challa. He could still hook up with that famous singer, or you know who. I'm of course referring to Ugandan Knuckles. He's still going at it. I thought he'd be done by now. Oh, thank God. I never thought I'd be so happy to see your faces.
We had a little bit of trouble trying to find your location. You know how the GPS is. It always gets really confusing right when you're near the destination. It's so frustrating. But when we heard that loud barking, we thought for sure that it was the sound of someone having to deal with you. Because that's really the only way to deal with an over-talkative douchebag like yourself.
Come on, Mrs. Midnight. Don't embarrass me in front of the guilty.
So this is the poor earthling you want me to kill?
Exactly. You do owe me after I took care of your little problem.
Oh, you mean Graviton. Yes, our father gave you that responsibility. But it seems as though you have not held up your end of the deal.
What do you mean? I gave you a body.
Oh, you mean this body?
Yeah, the body of Graviton.
Wow, you think my father is that stupid? Even the stupidest of supervillains such as yourself could easily tell that this is not Graviton. This is one of the various bodies that the Thinker has taken over during the current season of The Flash. He keeps going through those bodies like they're Reese's peanut butter cups. He just throws out the little wrapping and immediately goes towards the next one. And it seems as though that you have taken advantage of that, and you've repurposed one of his dead bodies to be a decoy, because you have failed to kill the real Graviton.
Okay, you got me. What's a little hazing amongst friends? You know, good friends haze each other. That's what we do. But seriously, here's the actual body.
Oh, come on. This one isn't even a supervillain.
Yes, he is. He's the villain of Archie. That's a comic book character.
Archie might be a comic book character, but he's not a superhero.
Well, he is in one of the Elseworlds. There's a bunch of Elseworlds. There's one where he gets with Betty. There's one where he gets with Veronica. There's one where he dies trying to save his gay friend. And there's one where he gets killed by the Predator. And one where he teams up with the Punisher.
No, you've made your point very clear. You have failed your job. It was very simple. Just give us Graviton, dead or alive. But you have failed, which means you're going to have to deal with my big brother.
Oh, I see. So your brother's gonna take care of me, and you are gonna take care of Mr. M'Baku, right?
Oh, please. We couldn't care less if he's a superhero or a supervillain. That is not of our concern. Our concern is that we see to it that our father gets what he wants. And it's only less than a month till he does. But everything has to go his way, including the body of Graviton, which is why we will continue to search for him, while you must suffer the wrath of our father. Brother, will you take out the trash?
Oh, no, what are you gonna do to me? Well, what are you gonna do?
Best not spoil the surprise, little man. Best not spoil the surprise.
Oh, that was a close one. I thought for sure that I would be a goner, but luckily I have faith in the gorilla god, and I prayed to that god every single day. And now my prayers have been answered. Thank you for keeping me safe, oh gorilla god. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now if you excuse me, I am going back in time to the year of bedtime for Bonzo. And I will make sure that the right star of that movie becomes president.
Oh, praise the mighty gorilla god and his time-traveling adventures.
Yes, I can time travel because I'm a god. Sure, let's go with that.
And to think that those other Wakandans have blindly been worshipping a panther. I don't see their panther god showing up right in front of them.
Yeah, panther gods don't exist, just gorilla gods. That makes sense. Okay, bye. Thanks again for letting me use your toilet.
You're welcome. After all, the Jabari tribe may have resented the Wakandans for using technology, but now that we have joined forces with them, we've decided that, you know what, not all of their technology is useless. They do have a couple of nice devices that do make life a little bit more convenient, like indoor plumbing. That has been a very good advancement, and so is this little doohickey.
I told you, I'm not a smart device. I have a human consciousness inside me.
You keep saying that over and over again. Oh, I used to be a person who had one hand, and now I have put my brain inside of that hand.
Well, I did. How else will you keep me in this franchise?
Well, guess what, Claw? You already fulfilled your destiny of showing up in a Black Panther movie and having a robot arm. Your potential has been fulfilled way better than the likes of Baron Strucker or Crossbones. Yeah, but I'm supposed to be a main villain. I can't just be a side villain who gets killed before the climax even happened. I don't even get to be the one who commits the murder of T'Chaka. It's bloody Zemo. Ugh, I hate that guy so much. I could do a whole segment on him. Well, you are free to, because the host is not here anymore, so we can do whatever the hell we want on this show. Really? Alright then, here I go. Zemo has already gotten enough attention as it is. Instead, we're just gonna talk about how he could have easily been killed, but wasn't. I mean, come on, the chance was right there. He was just about to pull the trigger. But no, T'Challa had to be a goody-goody two-shoes Boy Scout and intervene. How could he do that? Especially when he goes through the same exact situation with Killmonger. You got T'Challa sitting right next to the villain on top of a bloody mountain looking at the view. But the outcome is completely different. When Killmonger killed himself, T'Challa didn't do shit. Why did T'Challa let his own cousin die, but not a complete stranger who killed his father? Maybe it's because he knew that his cousin would suffer a miserable life in Wakandan prison, never ever getting to live out seeing all of Wakanda. So I guess he thought he was doing him a favor by letting him choose whether or not to die. And so his cousin chose the quick way out. So that means that he didn't really save Zemo. He just wanted to make sure that Zemo suffered a lifelong hell on Earth. The American legal system, which I imagine is way worse than any type of high-tech, fancy-ass prison that Wakanda probably has. It's probably a friggin' paradise over there. Which is why they just gave me a tattoo and the boot. Although now that I think of it, the real reason why Zemo is still alive is because he still has a lot of shit to do. You need to face the facts that you were shot right in the head. It would take a huge contrivance to bring you back now. Well, guess what? In the Avengers animated series, Earth's mightiest heroes, my conscience remained inside of the robot hand. So I decided to take that scapegoat again. I don't know. There is no reason to get a payoff to a non-existing setup. Okay, look, maybe there's another possibility. They could have dumped my body into the vibranium mines, and so my carcass would be fused to the vibranium, becoming a giant vibranium monster. Is that how it happened in Earth 616? Well, no. But it has happened with a few other villains of the Black Panther, including his brother, But since it seems too repetitive to do another evil sibling, then maybe I could have the honor of transforming into a monster made out of vibranium. Well, it does make more sense than being made out of sound, because how the hell can you put that on screen? But since we have to wait at least 2 years for a sequel, you will continue to be my smart device. I need to understand this technology that the other Wakandans use, so I need you to explain to me all of it. Oh, that's so frustrating. I've spent like 7 hours trying to explain to you how Gmail works. Yes, and then you have to teach me how to download apps. No! But before you do, don't you remember the other job I gave you? Yeah. I remember. Keep the little bald man safe away from the little green man. Yes, and you did a very good job hiding him. But now that he no longer has to be hidden, it is time to wake him up. I don't know about that. From what I've seen, he's pretty close to death. Yes, I know he's fading away. But this is not my first rodeo. I have helped the revival of people in the past. But you used the heart-shaped herb. It came from the skies and has supernatural benefits. But it was all burned away by the Killmonger. He rained on everybody's parade, not just mine. Well, you see, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who is in the drug cartel. And we managed to get a little bit of this our way. But you gotta know the right guy. And unfortunately, this is the actual last heart-shaped herb. So we got to use it where it counts. So, does this mean he's going to gain the powers of the Black Panther? Well, if it was the good stuff, then yes. But this is the really cheap stuff. I might be the leader of my own tribe, but I am very stingy when it comes to leisure expenses. There is only enough nourishment to bring him back to life. So take your medicine, little Canadian. But his body will not be the only thing affected. It will also be his soul. He must go through the same out-of-body experience that the Black Panther goes. That means entering the purgatory, where he will meet his deceased loved ones, and will be faced with the decision as to whether or not he wants to return to the land of the living. So, we got a 50-50 chance of him coming back then? Yes, he has to decide for himself. But in order for the ritual to be complete, he has to be buried. Does it have to be something specific? No, it can be anything. It can be dirt, or snow, or anything else. Alright then, here you go. Let's see if I have any more in me. I gotta lie down. Welcome back back to another episode of Post Defeat with your host, me, Graviton. And today's guest is... Wait a minute! The little squid thing from Watchmen? But I thought you died! I saw you die in front of my very eyes! This can't be real! What's going on?
Tell me, Franklin, what is the last thing you remember?
You can talk?
No, he can't talk, you dumbass. Not even in the afterlife. It's me, you idiot. Bludnovsky.
Ben? It's been such a long time. I barely recognize you.
Well, that is because you are used to seeing me in my gas mask. But I decided to let my face breathe now that I am dead.
Well, I guess the last feeling I had was being stabbed. It was real bad, real painful, and the last thing I remember seeing was a little green man with a forehead that looked like a ball sack.
Yes, you are recalling your death.
Death? I died?
Well, that is for you to decide. Do you want to come live with us in the forever afterlife?
Wait a minute, I thought you went to hell.
Oh, I was able to pull some slings. Granted, I did a few things that I'm not very proud of. Let's just leave it at that.
Did you suck any demon dick?
A lot of demon dick, okay? I sucked some demon dick. Are you happy?
No, not really. I had so much that I wanted to accomplish on Earth.
Do you really want to go back there? I mean, you've got a chance to rest now. It was so stressful down there on Earth. Just so much shit to do. Doesn't it feel like a huge burden has been lifted off of your shoulders?
I don't know. There are plenty of other villains out there who are more than qualified to take on my duties of helping other supervillains deal with their defeats.
Yes, that is a very good reason to join us.
Oh, I don't know, Bludnovsky. I think I really needs to go back. Trevor? Oh, this is too much.
Hey, Trevor, fuck off. I'm trying to get this guy to hang out with us. What are you doing?
Well, you see, I've been keeping track of the YouTube channel, and it's really gone downhill since you left. I never left. Not by choice, anyway. Well, what do you mean downhill? A lot of people don't like your replacement. Who's my replacement? Oh, well, it's funny that you mentioned a little green guy with a giant ball sack for a face, because that's pretty much an accurate description of the new guy. It's all coming back to me now. I was murdered by the mole leader so that he could take over my show. I can't let this happen. If he wanted my show, he should have asked, like a nice supervillain. But no, he had to do it the rude, impolite way and murder me. That's no way to get a TV show. Tell that to O.J. Simpson, or the guy who murdered Versace.
Are you sure you want to do this? You'll be passing up a great opportunity.
It's not my time, Bludnovsky. But that doesn't mean you, or Trevor, or the little squid thing shouldn't continue enjoying your rest. I've still got shit to do.
Well, if you excuse me, I've got to suck another demon dick.
What smells like shit? Wait a minute. Oh god! Oh shit! Oh no! Oh, gross! No! Welcome back to the land of the living, Graviton. Thanks, Mr. Furry Cosplayer? Where's your furry mask? Your furry face? You know, I can't see which animal you identify as. Well, my persona is a gorilla, but that is not the point. I am Debacle, but I am not surprised that you do not know who I am, because a lot has happened since you left this plane of existence. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Apparently, my show has been taken over by my murderer. Well, not anymore. That little green fuckface has been taken care of. Oh, thank God. So that means I have my show back. Yes, the show is in the right hands again. The non-judgmental hands, who is willing to give his guests the benefit of the doubt. Why do you say that? Did you do anything questionable as a supervillain? Well, funny you should mention that. I could explain to you everything you have missed since you are in a coma, but instead I'll just have my smart gadget download the information to your head. Well, technology has really advanced since I left. Oh God, it's so painful! So now that you know everything, how do you feel about my decisions I made? You did what you had to do. I can respect a man of honor, and so if you don't want to betray the Black Panther, then who am I to judge? I mean, you're still super villainous. Oh, really? What makes you say that? Well, you stole the show. Everybody loves you now. Screw the Fenris Wolf, screw Maximus the Mad, and screw Killmonger. Yes, I said it, because they all failed at being the new Loki. You are the new Loki, just not in the way anyone expected. Because everyone wants to fuck you. Now that is why you are the better host. So now that I know how you feel about me, how do you feel about the whole event that has occurred? Well, I'm just glad that we finally got here. We finally got to covering this corner of the universe. I've always been waiting, and you guys have fulfilled. Congratulations for that, Debacle. Wakanda has been represented. Let's hope for the same with all the other corners of the universe that have yet to get their day. Like Atlantis, and the Savage Lands, or Thunderbolt Mountain, or the Microverse, or the Nexus of Realities, or the Negative Zone, or Olympus. And besides, you'll probably still be a lovable douchebag. It's not like you're a completely good character. You're probably still gonna be the hard ass who makes things difficult. Oh, you better believe I'm going to give the Black Panther shit to deal with. I just hope you don't mind all the fan art that you're gonna see of yourself. It's gonna get really fucked up. What, are you speaking from experience? Unfortunately, I'm not popular enough to get fucked up fan art yet. But that's okay. I know my place in this world, and you know yours, and I've gotta go back to doing what I do best. Although this does make me a hypocrite. How does this make you a hypocrite? Well, when I died, I decided to accept it because I wanted to lead by example. I wanted to show there should be permanent consequences to that. It shouldn't be resolved all willy-nilly with no problem whatsoever. So now that I'm back, there doesn't seem to be any consequence now. There's no lasting impact. There's no cost. Well, I wasn't going to tell you anything, but since you really want it, I guess I'll tell you. Tell me what? There is a cost to you coming back. You are about to witness the end of the whole world. What? Really? Yes, we are all about to die. Another apocalypse? Then what was the point of bringing me back? You are the one who started this show, so you should end this show. Well, thanks, I guess, but I know you meant well. At least I get to spend my final hours with my best friend, Meek. Oh, you mean that bug boy? Yeah, the purple larva thing. It's what I use to replace the squid thing. He's my new compadre. Where is he? Don't worry about him. He is celebrating the end of times his own way. Well, then I guess I should spend the end of the world the same way, doing what I love. Yes, you'll keep doing this show, while I need to fight a bunch of aliens. Wait, what? You're gonna fight aliens? Why would you do that? Why don't you kick back, do whatever you like to do? I assume it's enjoying your vegan diet. Or maybe it's laughing at your own jokes. Or any other douchebag thing you like to do. Well, you see, Graviton, I have been personally invited to be a part of the huge event that causes the end of the world. Wait, you've been invited? Yes, it is a very specific group, although maybe I shouldn't have brought that up since your ex has been invited. You mean Nebula? Well, we never dated in the first place, but way to open that up. But maybe I could get involved. If there's any chance of preventing this apocalypse, I want to pitch in. I kind of had a hand in preventing a couple of other apocalypses. If you've watched all of these YouTube videos, not to toot my own horn, toot toot. I don't know, it's invitation only, but now that I think about it, maybe there is a way I can sneak you in. But be forewarned, Graviton, you might have to encounter the father of your ex. Are you sure you want to do that? Well, as I keep saying, that's not my ex, but yes, I am willing to do that. This really is a price to pay for me coming back. It sure is. Well, I guess there's no point in dilly-dallying. Let's do it, M'Baku. Let's save the world. Not just our world, the whole universe. Wait, what? Really? The scale is that big? Destroying all of existence, like literally everything? That's not productive. That's not productive at all. Are you done now? Is this video done? Is it done? Is it done now? Come on.
Hey, sis.
Hey, brother.
Hey, siblings.
Good God, Ebony, what happened to you?
What, you don't like my new hairstyle? I call it the Ben Franklin. It's totally hot right now.
Well, whatever. That's not what's important right now. We all know why we've met up here. It's time that we gave our father a present for everything he's done for us.
Well, I took care of that little bald man.
No, you didn't. Me and Corvius had to take care of your mess, and we're still cleaning it up. That little bald man is still at large.
Oh, man, I told you, Cole. I told you we should have killed him ourselves.
You did not say that, Ebony. You did not. All you said was that your new hairdo would get all of the pussy.
Don't say that in front of the other siblings.
We already know you try so desperately to get laid, Ebony, but let's focus on making our father happy. Let's give him the greatest gift any father could ever have.
You mean complete genocide?
Exactly.
Okay, but this better get me some pussy.